Hello everybody. In today's video, I'm going to show you and tell you how I get set up for doing a project like this, weathering a car and getting ready for a diorama. So if you want to know how I do it, make sure you stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more to come.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
Hello BSC family and welcome back to my bench. So as you know, I'm going to be using this 67 Impala to do a whole bunch of tutorials on weathering, how to flatten tires and crack windows and all kinds of other things, right? I'm going to show you how to do them, and each one's going to be individual videos, right? So that at some point in time, if you or somebody else ever goes searching how to flatten a tire, poop, hopefully my video is one of the ones that shows up. So how do I get prepared for doing a rusting model or weathering a model, things like that? Well, first of all, figure out what vehicle you're doing, right? That's going to help a lot. Now, in general, a lot of these techniques are going to work for pretty much anything, okay? But let me show you here. I'll show you what I mean. So in particular, as you can see here, I've started to mark out where I want rust, okay, and other doodads and things that I'm going to do. But as you can see where I've marked out all kinds of different rust, and I'm not done doing that, but you can see that I've marked it out. Now, how did I come into conclusion of where I want this rust? Well, this is where research and reference pictures come in handy. Now, of course, with today's day and age of having Google, you can pretty much research almost anything on Google right now. And so I look for reference pictures primarily of the vehicle I'm working on, okay? And the reason I do that is because each vehicle uniquely and most commonly has rust spots in certain spots, okay? A lot of 67 Mustangs, and you guys know with the real cars, they love rusting up on top here, right at the bottom of the windshield, but under the cowl and under the fender. The firewall and stuff up top here love to rust out. They collect leaves, they collect water, dirt, and everything else, right? There's a lot of cars with the vinyl tops, and the vinyl tops love to rust right where the molding is, right where the vinyl stops, and they like rusting all along the edge of the vinyl, right? Collects dust, collects dirt, the water, and most of the vinyl has like a fabric backing on it, and it holds water. Other than that, things like most cars with the stainless steel molding won't be rusted, but underneath, inside the lip where the windshield sits, will almost primarily always be rusted. And if bad enough, it also gets down on top of the steel dash portion, and the dash itself actually rusts, okay? So by looking up Google pictures, you'll see where your particular vehicle seems to always rust. Now, in most cars, it's almost always in the back quarters where the tires kick up the mud and dirt. People don't wash it out. Same thing in the front one, in the front fenders. And because it collects so much mud and dirt and everything in the fender here, it likes to get into the bottom of the door, right, and rust the front of the door. Now, also, the window seals like to go bad. So water, dust, dirt, and everything else goes down inside the door, right, where the glass is. It goes down inside the door. It likes to rot out the bottom of the doors, right? You'll get some rust up here, but not as much as normally back here. And this is kind of where it starts causing the inner trunk extensions to rust out, because that spot is getting full of mud and water and everything else. Same thing if it starts to rust in the window here. Water will get down and go inside the trunk area, rots out the trunk floor, right? And sometimes if it's rusting up here, it'll come down and go down the C-pillar and down into the onto the floor there. And same thing with your weather seals, especially doors that don't have the window frame, just the glass and a rubber seal. The rubber seal rot out sitting over time, and the water will get down, sit on the floor. Same thing with the windshield, sit on the floor, and that rots that out, right? Now that's primary on most cars. Now same thing with your rockers. Behind your rockers, there's supposed to be drain holes and stuff, and dust and dirt over time collecting there, of course holding moisture, rotting out the rockers. Now on vehicles that have moldings, as this car does, it has moldings along the bottom. Moldings of any style. It actually has moldings along the trim, the wheel wells here too, but pretty much any type of molding on almost any car is a dirt magnet, and it holds the water, holds dirt and everything else, and starts rusting where those little holes go through the body, so that you bolt them on from the back side or the inside. Nowadays most of them are all two-way taped on, helping to prevent that, but if you don't wash it properly, it still can get dust and dirt in there. Over time it gets scratched, wears through the paint, will start to rust. But those moldings on these older classic cars, a lot of times that's what's causing a lot of the rocker rust and back quarter panel rust and your wheel trim rust, right? Door handles, you know, the water can get in there once the seals dry out and start cracking. So your best thing is reference pictures of the vehicle you're doing. Okay, I know I'm rambling on, but I'm trying to explain here that this is going to be your best source of information of where your particular vehicle likes to rust. Okay, now of course all this rusting is all subject to matter. You know, if you got a dent, it's going to rust there. If there's some idiot decide to scratch your car, key your car, ex-wife, whatever, you know, so that's going to cause open metal wounds where that's going to like to have rust and surfaced rust, and if left long enough, rust holes, right? Just different stuff like that, you know. Again, these grates in the front cowl, dust, dirt, leaves and everything. Normally they have a plastic grating in there, but that breaks down over time, cracks and everything else. And then leaves, dirt, tree pine needles, all kinds of stuff will get in there, and the water will wash it down over to your drain holes on the sides, plugging them up, causing all of that to rust, right? So hopefully this helps you, that this is what you got to do to try and find where your vehicle likes to rust. And if you look at both sides, I've got the molding marked off here because that's going to come off, but you can see where the most rust is because the reference pictures show me that. Same thing, this quarter here, and the lower door, front fender, and back of the fender. If you come to this side, it's almost identical, right? Now, a lot of times your passenger side is going to be more rusted than your driver's side, for the simple fact that as you're driving down the road, the snow plows clean the snow, and if you're a state or province, depending on where you're from, Canada, US, or anywhere else, it leaves, they use salt, and that leaves a lot of slush on this side of the road, whereas pretty much from here this way to the other lane is all going to be cleared off. Sometimes you'll have a slush lane down the center, depending again on your plowing service, but these tires are always going to be touching that slush, causing a lot more salt and ice and dirt and everything kicking up into the passenger side than it is on the driver's side. Okay, now after I've got that figured out and I've collected my reference pictures, a lot of things that I like to do is, what do I want to do? How far am I weathering this? Is it just a sun fade? Is it a full out rust holes, or just surfaced rust? Is it body replacement panels and they're a different color? You know, am I weathering the interior? Was it an old barn find that somebody's already started to fix up? These are all questions you have to ask yourself, right? What do you want the car to look like? Me, I'm going for a full barn find. Nobody's touched this car in 30 some years. Okay. Now, and don't check my math, whatever. But anyways, so what are you looking to do? Well, I've got pretty much 2 pages here, and this is stuff that I want to try and do as videos for you guys, to help you guys out on doing some of these things to your vehicle. Doesn't mean you have to do them all, just I want to do all of this stuff so I can show and have videos to help you guys out. Things like flatten the tires and rusting the rims, headliner falling down. Okay, mark your stuff down. What do you want to do? Okay, I want to do a headliner that's falling down, you know, like it's falling apart. The seats, so I want to cut out the back seat, you know, and leave the seat portion and the package tray, but I want to get the upright of the back seat out of there, which means now I'm going to have to build the trunk bracing and everything else that you're going to see and expose. I'm also going to have to touch up the sides of the seat, which would normally be up against the door panels, and do up the back depending on how you're going to display that chunk of seat, right? I'm going to build and rust the engine. I'm going to remove the driver's molding, remove driver's side front corner marker light up front on the bumper, remove the passenger side door handle, drill out the holes to make it look realistic, crack the dash top, thin the body for rusting. So when you're going to do all this rusting, you know, I tend to thin things out from the inside until you can almost see light through it, or as thin as you can get it. So as you do your rust holes, you know, it's going to be a lot easier, look a lot more realistic. Now there's going to be also steps to this, because you don't want to thin this and then go, oh, I want to remove this door or this bottom trim molding. Well, things are going to be so flimsy, you're going to end up just wrecking this entire piece, right? So you're going to want to remove that molding first, then thin the body out. And I'll go through all that when I get to that point. Right now, I'm just telling you how I set up so I know and keep on track of what I want to do. You know, I want to crack, let's see, I want to make side windows, because there is no side windows for this car. I want to break and hang the mirror. So the mirror, usually I get a check on this, and this is where reference pictures come in. I can't remember if these mirrors are a ball and socket style, or if there's actually a cable that runs through the arm of the mirror and into the dash or the door panel, in this case on this side, that allows you to adjust your mirror. I have to check at which one this car had. Right, so if it's got a cable, well, I'm going to break it off, and I'm going to actually make the cable and let it hang sitting down. If not, well, I may leave the arm there and just take the mirror itself off and figure that out. Crack the windshield. I want to bend and rust the bumpers. I want to make dents, you know. Drill out the trunk lock and make a screwdriver. Again, this is just going for realism, right? And you guys know that, you know, when you can't get into that trunk and, you know, you drill out that lock and use a little flat screwdriver, pop the trunk open. Well, I'm going to try and make that for you guys. I want to remove 2 headlights, and of course, removing the headlights, a lot of times what's sitting there, well, you got the little socket and the wires that the headlight plugs into. So I want to try and mimic that, right? A little bit of that realism. Make missing headlight wires, rust the floor, and tatter up the carpet. So of course your floor is rusted out a bit. Probably was driven a bit for a while like that. Water and salt and dirt and everything got in there. Plus standing on it with your feet and everything else, just beat the hell out of the carpet. So I want to do that. I want to do what techniques I want to show you guys. So again, I want to show you the faded paint on the whole car. I want to do the salt rust technique. I want to do both types of chipping, the additive and subtractive chipping, right? Rust streaking, oil streaking, dust and dirt painting, you know, all kinds of different things. So that's where I'm going with this. Now I know it's a little bit of a longer video. I'm not going to get into too much right now. I'm going to figure out exactly where I'm going to start, and that'll be the first video of getting your vehicle ready for its build and rust and whatever else you're going to do to it. Okay, and probably I'll start with things like how to remove stuff from the body that you don't want on the body. So that'll probably be the first part of the weathering videos. All right, prepping the vehicle and getting it ready for it. So if you like this type of stuff and you want to see more, make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure that you turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Definitely hit that subscribe button for me. Share these videos so that other people can learn from these here, hopefully helping everybody out. I'm going to do some stuff here that I haven't even done in a long time myself, so it's going to be almost a relearning process for me. Also, you know, if you want to help out the channel, the best way to help out is definitely hit the like button and watch the entire video of your favorite YouTubers. Duration of video watching is the best thing you can do to help out. But if you want other options to help out, I do have a PayPal me link down in the description. I also have a join button. I do have a Teespring store with merch in it if you want to check that stuff out. Definitely give me a follow on my Instagram and my Facebook group, please. In those two spots, I always post pictures and stuff of things that's coming up, things I've done, like the bike group build that I'm doing right now with Cliff and Jamie G. I'm doing a Yamacat. Yeah, you heard it right. So if you want to see what that is, I'm going to have another video coming out right away here on that. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. So if you have any comments and thoughts down below, something that you want to see me do or maybe explain a little more as the videos go on, please leave your comments and thoughts down below. But with all that being said, no matter what you're doing, if you're making it shiny, if you're making it rusty, just have fun with it and build it your way. It's on your shelf. You're the only one that has to look at it. So just have fun. And until next time, later.